everything that you've seen me done, go on trips, go off somewhere. Thriving takes money because we live in a capitalist society. And one of the idiotic things that I'm taught in social service is to, when the client comes in whose income is so low that they qualify for public assistance, I should tell them how to budget properly. Or I could tell them how to dismantle a hyper capitalist society in which they're being used as pawn and disposable human beings, that even in them being issued public assistance, that is so that someone who's doling out these assistance can get to an executive position so that they could pay for their kids to go to private schools to then continue the trend of being either a master or a slave driver in the capitalist vampire slave plantation system. But if I had ever said anything like that to anyone, I would have been legally terminated from my position. But here I am with free speech and on my own little blog or whatever it is that I'm doing here on my YouTube thing. So everything that I'm telling you about thriving, you do not have to be rich to thrive. You just have to be able to knock out your basic needs. You should be able to afford your medical bills because your body, it's like not a robot. It's like a thing that breaks down and needs tuning and checking in. All the therapist stuff I'm telling you about usually requires a copay or that you have a job that gets you this insurance. So you need clothes. It doesn't have to be haute couture. It could be something you made in your house from a pattern that no one else has, still haute couture, but not brand with some brand that is owned by another white supremacist who's using this brand to take away money from you to give it to their children so you will never have money. But again, it's just fashion. Why should I waste your time telling you this rhetoric? So here we go. The math is simple. You have to get income. And this is not budgeting. You have to get income that exceeds your expenditure. And we're known as people who overspend. They said if we're given reparations, by the end of the day, it would be all gone because we'd be blinging out. Some of us might do that. That's if you starve people for long enough, the moment, if you've ever fasted, you go on a fast, you're starving, and then when the fast is over, well, all the candy in the candy shop, those sour gummy worms, I just need to eat them. And then bread, copious amount of bread with butter. And since I don't have Oprah money, the weight will just stay right there in the pocket of my center. Right? I'm sorry, I do ramble like a person actually on a fast coming off. So the thing is, we have to get more money coming in than going out. And even when we go to college, we're going to get a job and we're still going to be underpaid in comparison to our peers. We're still going to have these issues. So a part of it, we have to be fighting for a more just society where we get enough of what we need so that we could live. But in the interim, while we're fighting, we are going to have to define thriving for ourselves, because I'm not going to wait for this optimum moment when I'm going to get this ideal job to afford everything before I go on my trip, before I stay on the farm, no, because tomorrow is not promised to me. And I've seen how these people in the U.S. behave for the 400 years. Every time they show you like you're going to get some freedom, you snatch back up into the plantation, boo, because they did.